Okay, welcome back. Today we're moving into section 8.2. We're going to talk about what happens if your exponent is a 0 or if you deal with negative exponents. The first thing is if you have a number to the 0 power, that is going to equal 1. So that's right there. Any number to the 0 is going to be 1. I can demonstrate that to you guys after we talk about 8.3. And I can prove why that works, but I need some stuff from 8.3 to show that to you. So for now, just take my word for it. Negative exponents, your book says it's just the reciprocal of whatever your number to that positive exponent is. The way I like to say it is if you have a negative exponent, it's in the wrong position in the fraction. So right here I have a to the negative n, okay, so that's like it's over 1. So you can flip that. Otherwise, I like to think of it as a to the negative n is in the wrong spot. So since it's up top, it needs to go down below, and it becomes positive. So we'll take a look at a lot of examples of these. Get you guys lots of practice here. Give you guys a lot of different examples, looks, so that you guys get comfortable with this. But really, the key to negative exponents are they need to move position in the fraction. Or if you want to think of them as the reciprocal. So remember, that's just when you flip your fraction. That's how that's going to work. So looking at some examples here, if I look at 2 to the negative 2, okay? So we don't want to deal with negative exponents ever. If you have a negative exponent, you need to change it to a positive. So 2 to the negative 2, okay? So think of this as like over 1. So that 2 squared is in the wrong position. So I'm going to change that to 1 over 2 squared. And I'm able to figure out what 2 squared is. So that's going to be 1 over 4. Looking at B, I have negative 2 to the 0. So if you have a 0 exponent, it's 1. Okay? Not much to think about there. C, again, going to that negative exponent, I have 5 to the negative x. Okay, this is in the wrong position in my fraction, so I have to go 1 over 5 to the x. So it changes that to positive. Nothing else changes. Just change that position and change the sign on your exponent. D, this one is going to be where that reciprocal definition may be a little more useful to you. So if I have 1/3 to the negative 1, I can treat that as 3 over 1 to the first, which is just a regular 3. So if you have a fraction to a negative exponent, I like to just flip that fraction, take that reciprocal, and then deal with those exponents. The last one, E. If I have 0 to the negative 3, okay, so that means my 0 is in the wrong position of my fraction. So I turn this to 1 over 0 cubed. And 0 cubed is 0. However, I have 1 over 0. This, maybe you guys have seen this. I know we've talked about it a little bit. This can't happen. You can't divide by 0. So this is what we're going to call undefined. Okay, really, same thing here. We're just going to rewrite with positive exponents, so you don't actually have to evaluate or anything. Just make all of those exponents, positive. So if I look at A, I have 5 times 2 to the negative x. So 5 is okay, and I need to make 2 to the negative x positive. So it's in the top of our fraction, so I'm going to go 1 over 2 to the x. But now, if you want, you don't, by going with positive exponents, this is technically you have positive exponents, okay? But we can multiply this out, and So remember, multiplying fractions multiply across our top. So 5 times 1 is 5 over 1 times 2 to the x, which is 2 to the x, because I'm still just multiplying by 1. So there's the final answer we're going to go with there. Now, for B, okay, now it's very important to look at what exponents are negative. So actually this 2 doesn't have any negative exponents, so that's in the right spot, and it's simplified or evaluated as much as I can. So rewrite it as 2, okay? X to the negative 2. Okay, now this is in the wrong position of my fraction, so I'm going to go 1 over x squared, or x to the positive 2. Y to the negative 3, same thing. So I'm going to go 1 over y cubed, and we can just multiply all of these out. Remember, this is like 2 over 1, so I'm going to end up with 2 over x squared y cubed. If it helps you to split it up and do it letter by letter, so 2, x, and y like we did in that first step, you can do that. Otherwise, if you're okay with doing it all together and just ending right at 2x squared y cubed, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So whatever's more comfortable for you. The key with these, just kind of like I told you guys last week on Friday, just go ahead and take it step by step and you'll be all right. So if we're going to evaluate these expressions, we're actually going to tie in some of those other properties that we have used before. So actually, because I noticed that I have a 3 and a 3 here, I have the same base, which means I can actually add my exponents. So I can take 3 to the negative 2 plus 2. I'm going to end up with 3 to the 0. 3 to the 0 is 1, because anything to the 0 power is going to be 1. In B, I have 2 to the negative 3 to the negative 2. So I need to multiply those exponents. So I end up with 2 to the negative 3 times negative 2, or 2 to the 6th. Okay, you guys can use your calculator, or if you just know this, that's fine too. This is going to be the number 64. And see the last one here, 3 to the negative 4. Okay, this 3 has to be in the wrong spot because I have a negative exponent, so I'm going to go 1 over 3 to the 4. And 3 to the 4th is 81. You just leave it as the fraction, 1 divided by 81. Again, we're going to rewrite with positive exponents. So just more practice getting you guys used to those negative exponents. So looking at A here, just like we did last week, we're going to distribute that negative 2. And so I'm going to get 5 to the negative 2, A to the negative 2. Okay, 5 to the negative 2 is 1 over 5 squared. A to the negative 2 turns into 1 over a squared. So I get 1 over 25 times 1 over a squared, which you can simplify to 1 over 25 a squared. B, this is why I've kind of been saying, phrasing negative exponents the same way that I have this whole time. I have d to the negative 3n, except that's in the denominator of our fraction, okay? With negative exponents telling me that this is going to be this negative 3n tells me that I have d in the wrong position of the fraction, okay? Since it's in the bottom, this needs to go up top. So I'm actually just going to get 1 times d to the positive 3n. However, since I'm multiplying d to the 3n times 1, I'm just going to leave it as d to the 3n. So there's your homework. We'll check this when I get back. If you guys have questions or whatever, come find me before school, after school, study hall. Shoot me an email, whatever, and we'll get you guys squared around. Other than that, I will see you when I get back.